builders, parents, and collectors. On this episode of Creation Evaluation Station, it's another Mock and Model Monday, and we are going to be evaluating this. Finally, we have gotten to high-grade Gundams. As you can see right here, high-grade, Universal Century. It's the RX-78-2, the Grand Pappy Gundam, the original. I did this one first. I got a whole bunch more of high-grade ones, which are 1/44 scale. So it should be about the same height as that entry grade that I'd done before. There's a quick link to that video here. And yeah, just gonna be fun. Moving up to high grade now. Now I have put high grades together before. It's nothing super amazing, but much older ones. And this is an older one by a couple of years. It came out saying here 2015. So it's older than the entry grade, which yeah, it's sitting over here. That's why I'm pointing over there. Yeah, so we're gonna be looking at this, and and I wanted to point out, let's see, I got it here at Hobby Lobby for $16.99. I actually probably paid less than that because twice I've been to Hobby Lobby and they've had 40% off models, and I bought a bunch of them at a time. So I probably got this cheaper, but even still, $16.99 that's a good price. I mean, that's akin to what you would pay for it over in Japan without having to pay shipping and all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to move up into the 188. I don't know where I got that. 144 scale, the high grades. I got plenty of these. We'll be doing lots of these different ones. There are other types of 144 scale ones, including the real grade, and I have one of those a couple of those to put together. But that's for another day. Yeah, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby does have models, and sometimes they have sales on models. So if you have one near you, I would go check it out for some fun Gundam models. And they have different... I think the biggest ones they have are high grades. They don't have any master grades or anything, but neither does Target or Barnes and Nobles either, for that matter. I don't believe. Maybe online they do, but yeah. So let's go open her up and see what's inside the box. All right, here we have our box. As you can see, it's sealed. Got this at Hobby Lobby, so it's here in the U.S. Just nip it with some scissors. Get that out of the way. And let's see what's inside the box. Ta-da! So, we've got 1, 2, only 2 bags of runners. And give me a moment, we'll open them up and look at them closer. Here we have the runners. We've got one in this dark gray, not quite black, it's a really dark gray. We've got one in this off-white color, and then we have a multicolored one that includes transparent yellow. And we have another smaller transparent red, pink one for the beam sabers, and a polycap runner. We also have a couple stickers, not much. Looks like it's mostly for the eyes and that one little part there. And more about that later. And then here's our instruction booklet. Just a quick glance at it here. It's not really a booklet, it's more of a pamphlet. It folds out. It's got some color images here, as you can see. You can see what it looks like all put together in some different poses with the different weapons. Trying to get the rest of it open. And some of the instructions in color. The rest are in grayscale. Look like mostly weapons instructions. And the back side, more colored stuff. With color guide down here. Yeah, so let's have some fun, put this together. There's the entry grade, and here is the high grade. They look very similar, but we're going to look at their differences Once again, this is the high grade, this is the entry grade, and you can see they are about the same height, or they are practically the same height, which is good since they're 1/44 scale. But there is some slight difference in the proportions. As you can see, you have the arms straight down like this. Shoulder here is just a little bit higher on one than the other, meaning the proportions aren't exactly the same, but very close. Not much. Like I said, if you have them separately, you wouldn't know the difference. Standing side by side, you notice a slight difference. And there is definitely a lot of difference. There's a lot more parts with this. And I'm not just talking accessories, although we'll talk about that in a moment. But a lot of, like, for instance, you can see his arm here on the side. This little round part here is a separate piece. Meaning while on this guy, as you can see, definitely different proportions, but the round thing is much smaller, and then is actually attached to this piece, his lower arm piece. So that aspect, the details, are definitely different, with the high grade having slightly better details. But you'll notice this little yellow V right here on the entry grade. It's not colored here in the high grade, and there's a sticker to put there. This has slightly better part separation, color separation there, and also in the head, because you'll see here the little red spot here on his head is actually a larger piece that goes up into the camera that goes on his forehead. Meanwhile, this guy has a sticker that's supposed to go into the camera on the front part, and there's also one to go on the back part as well. So the color separation is slightly better on this one, and you could easily, this is the entry grade is a newer model than this high grade. This came out in 2015, I think it said. Meanwhile, this one came out 5 years later in 2020. So they've advanced their technology, and they could probably do something similar with this guy over here if they reissued it or did a remake of it. But that they don't do that all the time. I mean, this is a decent enough model as is. You could do that with a little bit of paint, although it's a really small corner. But you know, a steady hand would be able to do it, or like I said, the stickers. So now, as far as accessories, this guy does have more accessories. The high grade comes with more accessories, including this beam gun, or bazooka. He has his beam gun in as well. And you can see it's slightly different proportions to the entry grade as well. And he's also got the beam saber that will go into his beam saber hilts that are on his back. Like so. And as I said, if you can get some extra ones of these, they can go into the saber hilts that are on the back of this guy. But that's only really if you want extra, because you're going to short this guy. Now, the way the weapons fit in the hands on the high grade is a little bit different. The entry grade, they just slide right down into the slots in the hands. This one, the hands come in two parts. The back of the hand comes off, and there's a little clip that you clip the weapon into and put it on. Now, there's separate hands for weapon holding, like this. He has a special trigger hand too. He's actually got 5 different hands, which I'll show here in a moment. He's got 2 on right now. This has the special trigger hand, and then the other one is just the open fist, so you can put something down in his hand, like the shield here or a lightsaber hilt. Not sure which hand is used for the bazooka, but either way, they fit right into the hands a certain way. And you can see here, we got 3 other hands. These are just open hands that you can have to do posing with, and this is his other closed fist holding hand that can go switch out with the one that's in the holding the gun. And let's see, let's actually do that beam saber again, and we can put that down in that hand like so. Now it is kind of annoying having to well, as you see, some things like these beam sabers just slide right down in. You don't have to take the hand apart, but the shield and the bazooka and the gun here, you have to take out. Now the gun has a special hand, and you could just have the hand attached like this and just keep it on there. You don't have to take it off, because then you can just switch out the arm, the whole hand, like that, and boom, he's got his lightsaber now. As far as articulation, these two have about the same, except for a couple exceptions. And the hinges are, even though come out to be about the same posability, are a little bit differently placed. But he's got shoulder rotation. He's also got to come up here along the side. Arm can go up here, and we get a nice shooting pose. He has 2 joints in his elbow, so he can get really tight pose. And that shoulder joint is popping out easy, not because it's loose, it's actually because it's really stiff. So it's a tendency to pull out. And then the wrist is also on a ball joint that you pop in there. And that's got plenty of movement in it, as you can see, but it's strong enough it'll hold this weapon. The bazooka is bigger, obviously, but it also rests on his shoulder, so you don't have to worry about the wrist trying to hold them up perfectly. And then, of course, the beam sabers aren't that heavy at all. So there's all that movement. Then we have the head here. It's got wiggle room back and forth, and so it's got a double joint, one at the base and one at the chest and one at the base of the head. So it's got plenty of movement. You can rotate it. It's on a double ball joint. It's got lots of movement, and it's not restricted by too much in the way of like collars or neck, paraphernalia. Sometimes they have these ridges here that are really tall and like you can't turn past them, but this guy isn't like that. There is a waist crunch. It's not super big, but it is there. And there is a waist rotation. Right now I can't twist it too far because the bazooka's in the way. But, yep, waist rotation, which is something this other guy does not have. It's got some, but it's really tight. And as you can see, it likes to come loose. It's got just a little bit of a rotation in there and a little bit of crunch. This is a lot better in that department. And let's move his arms out of the way here a little bit so we can do the legs. Now these flaps here can be opened up, including the side ones. So it gives him plenty of room to move his legs, which are on nice joints. There's also a hip swivel as well. Though it does like to come loose a bit. Now we come down to the knees, and we're gonna have to move the bazooka. Double hinges there at the knees, so you can really fold them up. Ankle movement, got plenty of movement there, and these little ankle covers can move as well, so you can get them to look just the way you want. And there is a ball joint in there, so you also have side to side movement. Not tons, but I don't really think you need too much. Such a small model. And that's pretty much it. Now, this bazooka, there's hooks right into here on his back for storage. But this is actually a separate piece. There, if you want, you can. There's a little cover piece you can put in there to cover that up, so you don't have to have it exposed. But I like to keep the bazooka with them, so I'll put it right on there. Bazooka does, as you saw earlier, get in the way of posability. Oh, and his shield can attach onto his back right there as well. I didn't talk too much about the shields yet. It fits in his hands, which you have to open up the clip to put it in there. And then there's also a tab on his forearm. You can put it there. You can just, I have it in both. We can just have it in the forearm so you can rotate it. The hand stops it from rotating it and keeps it in a solid position. So you can see and get some nice dramatic posing out of this. And of course, if you have a stand, there is a hole in the bottom to put it up on the stand. And you can get some nice aerial movements with that as well. Some leaps, some jumps, nice attacks. Here he's got his lightsaber equipped. Shield's ready at the ready. Pop that bazooka off here in a moment and check that out as well. He is wobbling a little bit, but you notice he's still staying balanced. I think that's pretty cool. It's hard to get his legs in a perfect position, and he's managing to hold his own, even though this is a bit uneven. Here he's getting his bazooka at the ready. It's kind of hard to get his knees just right to get him what I call in a perfect bracing for a bazooka fire. And I guess gotta say that's a really big bazooka if you think about how big these Gundams are supposed to be. Well, there he is standing next to the bazooka with the bazooka upright. So yeah, it's almost as tall as he is. Comes right up to his chest. These guys are 18 meters tall. This is like carrying a missile sail all around with you. That thing's huge. Let's head back to the desk, give this a final evaluation. Let's give this my final thoughts and a final eval grade. Overall, I can't say I'm impressed because there are a lot of similarities to the entry grade. There are some more details. There's definitely more parts. It was a little bit more involved in the building, which there's nothing wrong with that. A little bit harder. Hardest part was putting this little red thing on him. Now, on the entry grade, it was a larger piece that went right up into the camera, and it was overall a bigger piece, so it was a little bit easier to put together. But yeah, it's definitely not impressive, but it's very nice looking. This is also a slightly older model, came out in 2015, and that one came out in 2020. And I have a feeling if they made a high grade of this that came out today, that it probably wouldn't need any stickers whatsoever except for the eyes, just like the entry grade. Well, the entry grade didn't even need the eye stickers, but they would do that because people like to do different things with the eyes, and I'll talk about that just here in a moment as well. But yeah, so overall, between the two, I feel this is slightly better with the details. Like, you paint it up, you're going to get a little bit more detail out of this that you're not going to get with the entry grade. Oh, the eyes. Yeah, so there are stickers for the eyes, and I might do something different. I use the clear. The eyes are clear yellow, and you could put a sticker over that. That's yellow. That's reflective. But there's also silver stickers in there as well. Those, I believe, are to put behind the eyes because, fortunately, the way this is right now, the yellow eyes are like transparent yellow eyes are in front of a red piece, and so you're not going to get the bright color. The red's going to bleed through. It's going to be more of orange-looking eyes. You can't even really tell because the light doesn't reflect, and that's the thing. If you put that silver, I was thinking about it, I didn't realize, looked at the sticker sheet really close. So I'm like, well, I might paint just the eyes someday, behind the eyes, because you want the light to go through that and then bounce back out, so it looks like it's coming out. You use those silver reflective stickers, you're going to get that effect with that. So I'm probably going to be putting those on. Now, another thing I want to mention about the eyes, and this is overall with all Bandai kits as far as I know. And I collect Transformers, and they, well, not recently, but they have had in the past what they call light piping eyes. And basically what it is you have transparent piece for the eyes, but the transparent piece is a larger piece and goes all the way through the back of the head. So light will pass through and come out the eyes and, you know, make them glow like. I don't know why Bandai doesn't implement something like that. I know, like in larger ones, they have LEDs, but I think they could do something like that for a high grade and would give you the lighting effects. With yes, it'd be cheaper, but it's a high grade. They're not supposed to be as highly advanced as your master grade, so it wouldn't be as amazing as LED lights in the head or whatever. But I don't know. That's something, not a con for this or whatever. Just something I wonder if Bandai's listening. Why no light pipe? Let's move on to my final evaluation score. Now, I'm not going to break it down for you. I don't do that for these. I want these quick and easy, and they don't require quite as much editing magic when I do the video. Its appearance, it looks great. Its posability is better, and is a lot better. Is an improvement slightly over the the entry grade, and it is really good. I mean, you don't have double joints in the arms with the other one. The waist articulation is limited in that. Doable, but limited. Much better in this. Other than that, the articulation is about the same between the both of them. Now, the difficulty of this build, slightly more difficult than the entry grade. And simply, it's only a couple pieces in the head because they're so small. Like, it took me forever to fiddle around and get that piece in there, which I was also very nervous I didn't lose it, because it's such a very small piece, and I couldn't quite see how it fit in yet until it did. I mean, that's one good thing about Bandai. When the piece fits, it fits. You can tell it's where it's supposed to be. Although I have put things in upside down backwards before. I have done that. Usually those are bigger pieces and are easier to come apart too. Yeah, the overall design, like I said, it's got a lot of the similar things that the other one has, with hiding seam lines and stuff like that. It's got higher detail designed into it, which is good. The only, biggest qualms is the fact that you need a sticker for that little piece there. Meanwhile, cheaper entry grade that has less parts and is less complicated can pull it off, which is why I think if they made a newer one today, they would already have that implemented into the, and you wouldn't know the difference. There are some newer high grades I have, including a brand new one that came out this year, and I'll be seeing how that adds up to these as well. I ended up giving this basically the same score as the entry grade, which was a 9.5. Like I said, they're both very similar. If you want a more complicated build, get this. As far as appearance, they're very close. They're very, very, very close. If you don't like stickers, go with the entry grades. You don't have to put any stickers on that, and it looks amazing. There's still some things you could do with it, like panel lining. The cameras aren't colored like this one is, but you could probably take just a red Gundam marker and color it in, since it's such a small area. You wouldn't even need to paint it. You just color it in like you do the panel lines and stuff. So yeah, Granddaddy Gundam high grade. I don't have a master grade. I probably will someday have larger grades. He's not my favorite, but he is important. That's why I kind of started with him. We're going to move into some of my more favorite Gundams, which I have a bunch of. I have a bunch of just Gundams. Like, I'm never picky because I like putting them together, but I do have my favorites as well, and you'll see a lot. You've already seen one with the SD Gundam I put together, although that was definitely not the most amazing model, for sure. And I don't think it does the original Gundam, the original version of that Gundam justice. Yeah. So, let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the two compared to one another? The entry grade with the high grade. Very, very similar, close. Overall appearance. And, I mean, you look closer at this, you can definitely see this is better in some aspects, and in some aspects the other one is better, and that's just advancement in their technology, which is why I like Bandai. They're always pushing the envelope with their stuff and improving. I mean, it gets a bit annoying when something better comes out and something you already had that you bought, but actually, to a builder who likes putting things together, it doesn't matter too much. You know, it's like, oh, I can't wait to put the new one together, see what the different things are. Yeah. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. But also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I have links down in the description because you will get notifications faster when the videos come out. My last Gundam video, I got a notification on my phone. It came out a week later. For notifications, use those other links as well. But also hit the bell because that also helps with the algorithm. Anything you do on the channel helps with YouTube and helps promote the channel. And if you want to help the channel more directly, there is a Patreon link down there. Just $1 a month for right now. I need to add more to it and work on that as well. That's it for me here at the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key.